If all your life you always wanted to become a ninja, watch this video. King, welcome back to Sparta. Tell us, what news do you have from your quests out in the northern lands of Baradur and Boria? It is good to be back in Sparta, War and Royal Council. I have returned with grave news, unfortunately. Yet alive I stand. As you recall, before you had me sent forth upon this mission, I went to the north in search for the monster and the evil demons found in the forests of Baradur, Easterling in the east, and to Boria in the west, and to the south, Kinshadu as well. In each of those lands, there's been word, sightings, and attacks from a foul demon from the underworld. It is a werewolf, and they form together in our neighboring lands to kill people, innocent villagers, kings, warlords, and warriors as well. I found their tracks. I traced their trails. Even the bandits had to move out to the north of their forts and flee from their lands and territories. They used to raid the villages nearby out of fear for their lives. There were remains found in their places, but nothing that could tell me where these werewolves were coming from and why they are here. So what did you end up doing about them, Warrior King of Sparta? I relent to inform you, Royal and War Council, I was only able to kill one. And do you have its head? No. For when I killed it, it turned into ash, and so I burned it. There is still yet a sign of the burning in the camp that I created after killing it. I found it in the middle of the day in the forest. It was watching me, hunting me down, and I knew it was coming. And so I killed it and burned it in the flame. Anyone who touches these creatures after they are killed without burning in fire, it turns into poison and burning ash. So, that is the word I have for you. Very well, then. I suppose we must delegate and have a conversation among us as the council. For if these werewolves continue on in existence near our lands or worse, this could be the death of us all, the kingdom, the people, the crops, or worse. Surely we'll need your help in killing these demons and beasts from the underworld. But this time, because of the danger that they pose. We will need you and your men to join together and fight and hunt them down and kill them once and for all. The only question we do not know is when, who, or how. Well, I have a few men amongst our ranks here in Sparta. We could go on a night quest many times, even during the day, far to the north, to the east, to the west and the south, where those demons still yet remain. Before they come to us and kill our neighboring tribes, I could make my way out there with a few of our men, at the most 5. I suspected about 3. This should do enough to kill them all. You give us this option, and we give you to the end of the year. The season is coming. By next spring, these creatures must be gone, lest there become more of them. I would do this for you. I would do this for Sparta. I would do this for God and our King, Jesus Christ, our Lord. Even when you're afraid, even when you feel fear, a Spartan acts regardless, and a warrior king rises as soon as he is fallen. Faith in Jesus Christ. My blades belong unto you, my King. In meditation, Jesus, wisdom, the truth is within mine heart, my soul and my spirit and my mind. Peace be unto you, brethren, for there is a great evil that lurks in the shadows of the darkness, in the outskirts of our lands, where there is unknown, undiscovered lands and territory. Evil seeks to be the ruler of this world, but the light shall always outshine the darkness, and the truth must be prevailed and revealed unto all, lest the shadow covers all the earth, and never again shall our generation or the ones that come after us see the light. So gird yourself with your armor and never give up. Gird yourself with your swords. To the north we go first for our first quest. Let's hunt some demons. Let's hunt some werewolves. And so the council had spoken, the orders had been given, the maps had been marked, the destination was known. To the north, beyond the forests, beyond the old roads, beyond the mountains, beyond the lands where merchants still dared to travel, where few villages and places were common. The north, the north, where something ancient waits, something that hunts hunters, something that has survived every blade, arrow, and era of fire that's been sent against it. The warriors dispersed from the council chambers in silence. Not cheering, no boasting, no loud and proud celebration. Fear in their hearts, yet courage and faith. Only preparation. For experienced warriors know a terrifying and dark truth. The young warriors that young warriors often forget. The louder the warrior, often the quieter his victories. The camp was alive with movement. Armor was inspected. Loins were girded, straps were tightened. Sword edges were bladed, checked beneath the torchlights. Water skins were filled, provisions were gathered, horses were fed and prepared for the quest to the north. Bows were restrung, and every warrior moved with purpose. Every action felt heavy and carried itself with weight. For each warrior understood that some of them, if not by the grace of God, they might not return back home to Sparta. It is a long campaign to the north, then to the east, and to the south, and then to the west. One of the youngest warriors in the War and Royal Council of Sparta spoke unto the warrior king and said, "Do you think the stories are true?" The warrior king said to him, "Which stories?" "The one about the beast." Then one of the elder warriors stopped him and said slowly and thoughtfully, "The stories are never as frightening as reality." Silence returned. The younger warrior swallowed. "Have you seen one before?" The veteran nodded. "Once." The campfire was crackling in silence with the wind subtly. Several warriors gathered and looked towards one another. The veteran stared into the flames. "It was nearly 20 years ago. No moon, no wind, no warning. We were 12. We thought we were hunting it, but it was hunting us. I watched a warrior lose his shield. I watched another lose his sword. I was younger then. Neither one of those things frightened me. What frightened you then? It was the way that it moved, so fluid yet unnatural. It wasn't an animal. It wasn't a man. It was something in between. It knew where we were before we knew where it was. It followed us for hours. It watched us. It waited. It chose the moment. How many survived? 3. The camp grew quiet again. Far away, an owl called from the trees. One warrior adjusted the straps of his armor. Another checked his arrows. Another whispered in prayer. No one laughed. No one boasted. And no one spoke of glory. For glory is easy to imagine in safety. Harder to imagine when death has a face. The warrior king stopped. The warrior king stepped among them. His armor reflected the firelight. His sword rested at his side. He looked at each warrior, one by one, not as soldiers, not as followers, but as brothers, as men who had chosen the path of courage. The warrior king spoke. "My brethren, fear is not our enemy." Several warriors looked toward him. He continued. "Fear warns us. Fear sharpens us. It awakens us. It reminds us that life has sacred and divine value. The enemy is allowing fear to choose your path. Tomorrow, the warriors listened to him, for tomorrow they would walk into uncertainty. Tomorrow they would walk into darkness. Tomorrow they would face something few men had ever seen and lived to describe, to tell of it. Yet tomorrow had not arrived. Tonight was for preparation, for discipline, sharpening the mind and the body and the spirit. The warrior king looked toward the northern horizon, past the fire, the camp, past the darkness. Somewhere beyond those mountains, somewhere beyond the forests, the beast, demon and creature waited, perhaps watching, hunting, perhaps already aware that the warriors were coming. The warrior king placed his hand upon the hilt of his sword. Brethren, sleep while you can, for tomorrow we hunt some werewolf. The fires slowly burned low. One by one the warriors retired to their tents. The stars watched from above. The forest stood silent, and somewhere in the distant north, the howls echoed across the wilderness, long, ancient. It is in those moments the warriors around realized that the hunt had already begun. It is time to be proud.
Thing will get me to my goal. Action. Relentless forward progress. So I put my head down and focus on steady, relentless action. I make action my imperative. I keep going. Keep grinding it out. Constant action. Consistent action. I'm being consistent and strong. I can see my goal. I know where I'm going. I direct my actions every day to achieve my goals. And I focus in on this step. I focus on the here and now. I focus on the action I'm taking now. I focus on what I can control. I can control myself. I can control my effort. I can put out maximum effort. I put out maximum effort. I do even more. Maximum effort. Maximum effort and drive. Right here, right now. Maximum effort. I give it everything. Full bore. All out. I stay savage. I conquer more. I stay at the heights of focused, high-quality action. The excellence of action through which I shape my reality. Excellence of action. Violence of action. Absolute optimal action. Tenacious, long-term action. Consistent action. Commitment to ongoing, determined, willful action. Focused and single-minded action. Winning is a conscious decision. A decision I renew every day. A fire that I feed. A fire to succeed. An inner fire that says, I will win. I take action now to win. Every day, I take action to get that win. I take action to keep moving myself closer to my goal. I keep going. I keep pushing. Effort pays off. Relentless, consistent effort wins. I win through right effort. I win through tenacity. I win through grit.
Lessons that kingdoms cannot. The trees do not care about crowns. The mountains do not care about titles. And the darkness does not care about reputation. Out there, out here in the wild, the unknown, there is only truth. Who you are, and what you fear, and what you are willing to become. Many men dream of being warriors, ninjas, or an assassin, but few are willing to train when no one is watching. Few are willing to bleed in silence, to suffer alone, to walk into the wilderness and sharpen themselves against the stone of fire and discipline. A sword is not forged in comfort, neither is a warrior. Every scar carries a lesson. Every battle brings forth a bruise. Every failure carries wisdom. And every piece of combat leaves a mark upon the soul and the heart and the spirit. The question is not whether a warrior will be tested. The question is whether he will be ready when the test arrives. Because you do not rise to the occasion, but you fall to your dream. And one day, the one day will arrive. It always does. Will you be ready? Somewhere in the forgotten ruins, creatures gather. Somewhere in the north, something wants us. Beyond the mountains, the darkness grows. Werewolves, trolls, ogres, demons, monsters of flesh and spirit. Each one of them seek the same thing. Your soul, your heart, and your life. And therefore we train for them to be killed. counsel has spoken. The quest has been given. The north awaits, and somewhere beyond the forests, the enemy waits in darkness. Let them wait, for the warrior king is coming, and the werewolf by my blades will be killed. I will kill.